So we always celebrating people right here on this radio show, man. And, man, super excited to have my bro, man, Jayy Mercury in the building with us, man.
What's good?
Guest co-hosting with us, man. 2023 Columbia College Chicago graduate, super dope artist, super dope DJ. We're going to get into his movement, man. Art Willis Bryant, man, is in the building.
Yes, sir. What's up? What's up?
And then, of course, man, my brother, man, YTS Keith, man, is with me every single weekend with what we call Fusion Radio, man. We make up Fusion Radio, man. So, Jayy Mercury, man, let's go into you, man. Talk to us a little bit about, man, who you are as an artist in person.
I'm an artist out of Chicago. I mainly started this like as a way out, trying to do something that I like to do. My cousin, he's the one who actually got me into this from when we was little. We was like 7, 8 years old. And it was something he was doing. I was like, man, I'm in the games. I was a game head at the time. So he got me on the beat. It was a Drake beat, actually. I think it was God's plan. It was God's plan beat. So he had me on that beat. And it all went from there. Here we are.
For sure, for sure. First off, I want to say welcome to Fusion Radio. You feel me? First off. So, where did you get your name from? Like, how did you, like, sit down and come up with that, though? Like, Jayy Mercury, where did that come from?
So at the time when I was thinking about it, I was into this group called Queen. I don't know if you know what that is. Freddie Mercury. I basically took like a letter out of my name and put it with his name. So Jayy Mercury.
Hey, it be like that, though. Sometimes, like, a lot of people be having these real, like, you feel me, detailed stories of how they got their name. And then sometimes it be some real short and sweet, you feel me? But it's still impactful, though. That's all that matters, though.
Do you kind of like do you fuse like Queen alongside of like like the hip hop? Tell us a little more about how like you kind of fuse.
Well, with that side, I kind of like take the lyrics from. I go for the lyrics takes instead of like the sound of it. So it's basically with the storytelling with it, the same stories they used to tell, the stories I try to go for.
For sure. So, like, for somebody like me that's not really familiar with, like, Queen, like, what's that style, though? Like, what do you bring to the table as far as, like, music? What's that sound?
I try and come from, like, a versatile style. Like, I could do anything, everything, anything that you think you've heard, like rock, hip-hop, of course. More of the rock side, like, I'll try and do, like, a rock trap type beat. Or I'll try and mix it up and just mix all of it with hip-hop. But right now, I'm more of a, like, Detroit kind of sound. So, yeah.
That's crazy, though, because, me being an artist myself, I never really tried to go the rock, like, side of music. So, like, what's the difference when you go, like, to the rock side compared to, like, for instance, like a hip-hop or, like, R&B or something like that?
With the rock side, it's like, you got to actually, I don't know how to say it. It's more different with the hip-hop side because the hip-hop is kind of easier. It's natural because that's what we're used to hearing. But, like, with the rock sound, you got to come with something totally different to try and find a way. Like, I don't know. It's kind of hard to explain.
Well, from my understanding, from the little rock that I have heard, like, you feel me, that I'm known to be rock, it's like, it's a different type of energy, you feel me? Because that's what music really is. It's like, it's a form, it's an art form, but at the same time, it's an energy that you, like, really giving up. So, like, for me, it's like a different type of energy compared to, like, hip-hop. Like, in hip-hop, you could really slow it down, or, like, you go fast, too, but, like, rock, you be kind of amped up, like, with it. Like, it be kind of teeth, though, at the same time, though.
I try and, like, go for that teeth, but I don't do that screaming. I can't do that. It's going to mess up my voice when the rapping comes in. So, I try and stay on the hip-hop side before I go to the rock. Rock is my secondary.
What you know about rock, Brian? You listen to rock music?
A little bit.
a little bit. What you know? I'm saying like tell me because I ain't gonna let you. I don't listen to rock music. So
No, like what he just described, like it was so amusing. It was so funny, man. I was laughing because I pictured that, man. Like, you know, when you work for the other company that I work for, they play a variety of music during the time when it's not clients in that slot, and so I hear a little bit of everything.
for sure, it definitely be like that.
Do you think that you're gonna be having like? Do you think it's gonna like form a new genre or kind of like bring those two genres to a new evolution over time?
I would like to think that I'd like to start something new to be the friend. Like, yeah, I started it, but I always want to bring everybody into it because I'm more of a person who like focuses on everybody else before I focus on myself.
So I want to get at you, man. Like, man, you've been working, man. I just want to tell you, man, you definitely been working, man. You released these albums, Misunderstood in 2023. You released MMST, The Chronicles in 2023. And then the Alter Ego EP, man, in 2022. So, man, what's dope is we got music from each one of those projects. So I want you to break down those projects and talk to us about, man, like, you know, the whole process of putting it together, what we should know about those.
Okay, so to start with the first one, the Alter Ego EP, that was more of like my test album or a test EP because that was like my first time making music in like, well, I would say 6 years because I ended up taking a break because of games. So the Alter Ego, and then it came to the Misunderstood, and that was like a comeback album for me because after the Alter Ego, I kind of took another break because I was trying to juggle so many things at the same time, but now I'm consistent with it. I can work. And that's when the MMST Chronicles came out, which was with my group that I got going on, MMST. We've been working. We getting some stuff out.
Hold on. We can't just slip past that. You said your group. Expand on that a little bit. Like, talk about Bruno. Like, what's up with that, though?
So the group consists of Myzaya, Zayrax, Moneyman JD, Get Busy, and P Savo. And we all know each other. We're really close. So basically how that started was we were all in the studio session. We heard a beat and we all got on it, which was the first song, the MMST Cypher. That was our first ever song we ever made. And it all went up from there. So now we all just trying to get this work in.
That's what's up.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Grinding nonstop. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, like what do you picture in the next, like, 3 months, like, 6 months, man?
Hopefully in the next 3 months, we out doing shows, trying to entertain the people.
That's what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that's something that, something like to really, really strive for, especially in Chicago, because it's a hot spot for, shows and stuff, man.
I feel like Chicago inspires a lot of artists when it comes to music, especially hip hop. Like people like Kanye coming out of Chicago, Lil Durk coming out of Chicago, a lot of people coming out of Chicago. That's a big inspiration on what I do and what a lot of other people do right now.
So, man, I felt like, man, since we done rattled off these projects and you gave us, man, some gut music from all three of them, man, why not start off with Mansky, man? Talk to me about Mansky. Mansky is off the Alter Ego EP.
Mansky is the song that's actually doing the most right now. We're almost at 100K. Mansky was basically a tribute song to my brother, Mansky. So I basically put on what we've been through, is basically trying to tell a story about what we've been through together, and that's how that song came apart.
Well, let's jump into it, man. It's our brother, man. Jayy Mercury's in the building, man, along with Brian Stinson, YTS Keys, man, our 2023 Columbia College Chicago graduate / guest co-host / super dope person. Our Willis Bryant, man, is in the building, man. We're back in a second.
all this pain in my heart, I think all the love fake. I just gotta thug it out and put this wood to my face. You ain't never been my wife, so you better know your place. If I get to tweaking out, ain't nobody gonna be safe. I don't go to no parties, I like staying to myself. And I never trust a thought, cause it's bad for my health. The only thing I care about is my mama and my wealth. Yeah, think I was a doctor, all these pints on my shelf. They like, Jay, where you been at? I've been in my room sleep. I ain't rapping in the store, I'm with my brother in the street. When that nigga by my side, ain't nobody touching me. I'm steady sliding with that boy, cause that's my nigga main ski. Shorty talk about a ring, you need to slow down, chief. He on the net talk about smoke, he out of luck, I got beat. He wanna listen to my story, then go ahead and take a seat. I'm not used to opening up, but for you, I take the heat. Turn my hell out the way, I'ma mix it up for juice. Man, the way that quad left, the only thing I need was proof. And then the next thing, my grandma ain't even know what to do. And all these hits coming left and right, out there and broke it too. I'll never be lost, I got my OG, so I'm cool. I took all my rainy days and turned the rain into a pool. And every time a girl broke me, it gave me rights to be rude. And when I run out of outlets, I just run to the dudes. My main girl left my hotel, then went home to you. That's another reason not to trust them, these girls be coons. Hell no, I ain't gon' fight you, I got 7.62. And if you still try to run up, then you really a buffoon. I'ma hit him, then I'll leave, and that's word to my pop. I thank you for the advice, man, I really learned a lot. Especially when I'm in the streets, I gotta stay away from cops. Cause them pigs don't care, they a Leo as to rot. This is how I feel. I've been, but I ain't never gonna find it. I don't care, I got my mother and my brother and my pesos. Got my father and my niggas and my Katos. We'll live.
WIIT Chicago. 88.9 FM Fusion Radio.
So it's Fusion Radio, Brian Stinson, YTS Keys in the building, man, along with, man, our 2023 graduate. We're celebrating him, man. Our Willis Bryant, man, and, man, a really dope guest, man, and Jayy Mercury. He's sharing some good vibes from the homies Jayy Mercury in the building, man.
Man, it's a blessing.
So, man, we was talking a little bit earlier, man. I guess you can call this like our pre-interview, man, about how dope you are in other areas outside of music, man. How you just have a gift and gab to be able to put things together and make things special, man. So I want you to share that conversation we had off the air with the listeners.
So it's basically, I used before music, before games, before any of that, I was focused on engineering. So I always knew how to work computers. I always knew how to fix something that most people can't do. So, like at the end of 8th grade, my graduation, I had like a little drive-through. So everybody was dropping off money, and I ended up putting that money together to buy pieces for a PC. And it came out to be like 800, something like that. But the one that I was going for, it was like 2,000, and I couldn't get it. So it was like I had to make do with what I could, and I ended up getting the pieces for the PC, put it together with this little YouTube tutorial. And ever since then, I've been using that to play games, make music. It can be used about anything.
So you put a computer together from scratch?
From scratch, piece by piece.
From a YouTube tutorial?
From a YouTube tutorial. It's amazing what YouTube can do these days.
That's cold, though. That's cold, though. When you really think about that, though. Well, that's cold, but then, like you just said, though, that shows you how advanced times is now, though, that you could just go on YouTube and see how to make a computer, though, from scratch. That's crazy, though. So, like, what else have you made outside of, like, a computer? Like, you feel me, to help you make music, though?
I use this, it's like this piece from the computer, actually. And I ended up, because my computer had broke down after a while because it got old. So I had to use from an old one that I had, put it together, worked good as new.
Bro, the adaptability, I think that's a really, like, crazy, like, skill set to have. I think that's, like, something that could really be used for all kinds of things. Like, I think that's the one thing I really like about you is the fact that I can see that you, if you see like a problem, you go out there like searching for how to fix it and go and do it yourself rather than having somebody else do it. That's like, you know what I mean? Especially if you have that type of skill set and you doing music.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like I always had that type of mindset. I had to do something on my own because you ain't gonna always have that helping hand to pull you up. So you always gotta find your way up on your own.
So I want to build on, man, since you first started, I know you're young in the game, man, but just some different improvements from when you first started up to now that you see that you like, man, I remember when I first started, I was like here and I'm now here.
It, to be honest, it don't feel real to me still sitting here. It's like when I first started, I didn't even think I was gonna make it this far until what I am now. Cause I wasn't really good. Like when I first started, it was always my cousin that everybody was looked at as the person. So Zay Rax, shout out to Zay Rax and MMST, cause they actually was the reason that I was able to push through that and get to where I am now.
That's what's up. So, man, give us some keys into, man, some things that you worked on, you know, you personally, to perfect your craft, man.
I always work on my wordplay. I always try to put something in that people can relate to or they can find funny. I always try and make jokes in my songs because everything can't always be serious.
What's an example of that? Like, what's about that you like just off the top of your head? Nothing like it ain't got to be super cold or nothing like that. Just something you remember off the top of your head.
Something that I said.
Yeah,
I think I said something like, let me see.
we on FM though.
Oh, I know. I got you.
No,
I think
Go ahead.
it was a bar about this girl that was trying to get with my homie, and she ended up being like the school. Everybody talked to her in the school, so I was trying to save him from that, and I ended up falling down the stairs. So I ended up talking about the situation in the song.
Whoa.
Yeah, I was like,
The visual of that. What?
Yeah.
No, man, because, you know, like, the high school I went to is Thornton and Harvey. And, you know, when we had stairs, you know what I'm saying, and all that stuff, like the underground tunnel, and, you know, the crazy is, you know, people see Thornton, and they're like, man, y'all got a new high school. And it's like, no, Thornton been around since, like, the slavery days. You know what I'm saying? And so you had the underground tunnel that you would go to from the main building to get over to the building that we have for the gym and for swimming and for all that different stuff and everything. And so I pictured them stairs, man. Them stairs, yeah.
man.
Yeah.
It
We
was
had
during
some
the
class.
passing period too, so everybody seen me fall. So it was like, it was kind of embarrassing.
And you know, even the person that's your bro or your sis, sometimes it's hard for them not to laugh. I'm be honest with you. It's
Man.
hard for them, man. It's hard. It's hard, man. They be doing everything, pinching themselves, doing everything.
I definitely did get some laughs.
No doubt, man. So, man, what's your favorite subject, man, at high school, man, to do, man?
English.
English. Okay, talk to me about English.
I'm more of like, I like reading, but I'm more of a writer. I'm more of a writer type person. Like, I can write essays like it's nothing.
Wow, man. You
Wait.
got a good gift right there, because there's a lot of people that the thought of writing an essay, they just like, ooh, I don't want to do that one.
I like to picture what I would be talking about in the essay. So it's easy when I write essays.
Wait, how old are you?
17.
Okay, that makes sense. Cause no, when you asked him what's his favorite subject in school, I'm like, I don't know why. I thought he was older than that, but you feel me? I'm
No,
thinking he
well,
like
it's
18,
young,
19,
man.
something like that. You feel me?
No, man, it's young bro right here, man.
17.
Oh, so you still in high school. So when did you
Yeah.
actually start making music though?
I started making music and like I started taking it serious in sophomore year. So basically, it's been a year since I started making music.
So how would do you think that like, you know, English is like really help incorporate into your music?
Oh yeah. Especially like most of the words that I speak or say in a song, I get from what I wrote down before. So it's always off inspiration.
Yeah, I feel that, bro.
So I feel the perfect song to play, and then we're going to come back, chop it up some more, is since you talk about writing and you love doing it, why not do Letter to Quad Part 2? So whether before we get into Part 2 of Whatsoever, man, of course there was a Part 1.
Yeah.
Talk to us about Part 1 and then, you know, how you felt like after Part 1, I'm not done with this, there's a Part 2 to this, and so connect the dots for us.
Well, with Letter to Quad, it's basically a message to my brother who's no longer with us right now. So
Oh, wow.
basically, it's a story about him. I'm talking about him mainly in the story, and about who he was as a person mainly. Because like I said before, I like to tell stories. So I was basically talking about him. It's my tribute to him.
Man, that's awesome right there, man. Condolences, man. Definitely on there, man. We're getting ready to jump into it, man. The homie Jayy Mercury, man. Letter to Quad Part 2 is in your ears right now. This is Fusion Radio with Brian Stinson, YTS Keys, and guest co-host R. Willis Bryant.
Donovan, you made this?
Man, I wish my bro was still here. Now the day that goes by that I don't think about you. When my uncle broke the news, I hated it was about you. Man, this shit was hitting hard to myself, and now my sister can't even sleep without you. Real show the love, but the haters keep it tame. I was taught to keep it humble, now I turned it to a saying. If you gon' teach me anything, you gotta show it to the bank. Mama said keep it pushing, ain't no such thing as cane. I think I really found the one, my baby love to keep it real. These niggas love to play the game, but I just charge it to the field. I'm like the story about the soldier, like the one that can't be killed. And if we ever break up, we gon' be best friends until you get the blowing on my phone telling me you won't be back. You reminisce the older days, but I'm not focused on the past. That nigga say he finna get me, man, you really make me laugh. I be moving with the sticks and I ain't talking about a stab. Man, I wish my bro was still here. Now the day that goes by that I don't think about you. When my uncle broke the news, I hated it was about you. Man, this shit was hitting hard to myself, and now my sister can't even sleep without you. Real show the love, but the haters keep it tame. I was taught to keep it humble, now I turned it to a saying. If you gon' teach me anything, you gotta show it to the bank. Mama said keep it pushing, ain't no such thing as cane.
So can I say something that might not be pertinent to the conversation? But man, I did do my job, number one. And that's when we have these real short songs, I have to tell people, look, don't go get them a sandwich or eat them some cookies because the song might be going off by the time they come back. Number two is, man, I got to be honest with you, man. These headphones I got on, I felt the acoustics, every bit of it, with that song you just played. It was knocking.
Man.
Straight knocking. I ain't gonna even lie.
The Letter to Quad. It's a tribute. I had to make it special for him. I told him I was going to. He was here when I first started this. So it's only right if I shout out to him.
Man, I like the way you honor your brother, man. Like, real talk. I've had some people down here that it's difficult because, like, I'm going to say, when you're in your high school years, that's when you love to have your brother and your sister so they can see you walk off to prom. And it's just different moments that when they're not here during those critical years, that's difficult to do. So if you could take some time out outside of music, how do you cope with his loss?
I don't know. It's kind of hard, to be honest, because I always have a lot on my mind, especially when it comes to with the music. So it's like, in order for me to cope with it, I had to talk about it. So in order to talk about it, I put it in a song. So that's basically my only way to cope with it.
For sure. I ain't gonna lie, you got some cold beats though. Them two songs, I like them beats though. Them definitely some cold beats. I ain't gonna lie, that first song though. See, I got a thing, like when I be listening to people's music, if it's good, I'll be thinking like how I would have came on the song. So that's how I was thinking that. That's how I was thinking the first song. So I was like, yeah, that was cold. But just before we get up out of here and stuff like that, just get up people your social medias and stuff like that so they can know where to follow you and they can get in tune with your movement.
At Jayy Mercury with 2 Y's on Instagram, Jayy Mercury everywhere else.
That's what's up, man. Performance-wise, man, what are people in store for, man? You did any performances, man? I know you in high school and all the stuff, you know, the talent shows and different stuff that they have, man. Man, I look forward to those, man. Like, that's why, like, people, it's hard for them to believe that I do radio and that this wasn't necessarily what I thought I was going to be doing. But, like, man, I was the one that went to the talent shows and, like, supported the people.
Yeah, that's exactly how. I'm really excited to do shows. I want to get the people entertainment. That's my main goal in this all is to entertain the people.
That's what's up.
Yes, sir, man. I just want to say, like, I can hear the passion in that song, man. Like, I'm not even gonna lie. I was like sad. I was about to start tearing up because I can hear like how much like he influenced you and how like you really wanted to make this special. So like, I just want to say kudos to you, bro.
Yeah, he was definitely a big impact on everything we got going on here.
So we got one last song to feature some of your greatness, man. Dysfunctional Junkie. What's the story behind Dysfunctional Junkie and
Dysfunctional Junkie? It's basically My brother's clothing brand, and
Really?
yeah, the name is actually a long story about it. But to sum it all up, being a dysfunctional junkie is like you don't know what to do, but you know what to do, and you do it anyway to see where it takes you.
Wow, that's dope, man. Well, brother, man, we appreciate you, man, for spending so much time with us, man. And what we got to do is when you graduate from high school, we'll have you back down here, man.
I'm definitely gonna be back.
Because, you know, we celebrate graduates on this radio show. And so, you know what I'm saying, hence, even though he's not a high school graduate, he's a college graduate, man. We love for you guys to come down, man, and we build more on what's the future for you. And then, of course, man, learn how you down and co-host, man. Guys, co-host with us, man. And get a chance to talk with these awesome people that's on the roster. So we got more Fusion Radio in a second, man. It's Brian Stenson, it's YTS Keys, it's our guest co-host, Art Willis Bryant, and it's the super dope guest, Jayy Mercury.
It's been a pleasure.
Shout out right, free babyface. It's Jay. Man, it's crazy how this world works. We went from hustles in the streets to most in the dirt. While we was hustling in the streets, most went to work. And I don't know how much time I got left, but I know I'm finna work. Go from heartbreakers to losing niggas, man, it hurt. I don't care how low I get, I ain't never taking perks. Word to juice, I ain't know him, but we from the same turf. And it's been my main goal to get the blues like a smurf. If you coming where I'm from, it ain't likely that you make it out. I've been on the same road, it's only right you take the safer route. I remember late nights making pallets in my grandma's house. Reminiscing late nights when all I wanted was to take me out. You stronger than that. How you making all these dreams thinking you gon' keep them tight? Knowing once you get up out this game, it ain't no coming back. All the shit that you done built up, you leave it in the scraps. I done put my whole heart to get my mama out the rap. Got the pints fighting demons and they clawing at my neck, and I've been trying to fight back. Me and Mansky on the mission, DYZ up on the map. I've been speaking from the heart before I knew that I could rap. I'ma stay independent, ain't no working like a slave. The only thing on my mind is that De Niro getting paid. Not the devil on my soul, it's just more that I can say. But I got God on my shoulder telling me that I'm saved. All the tears that I cried, all the nights that I didn't pray. They need a free baby face, cause he the one who paid the way. You gotta stick to your craft, you ain't gon' make it in a day. When I made my first hit from Breakthrough, I was amazed. I know life gets hard, think of life just like a maze. You not gon' know which way to turn, but you gon' make it out okay. You gon' miss 100% of the shots you don't take. You done been through the worst, you still living, you ain't break. MST, it's our job to put the food up on the plate. And even though I'm not right, I'ma make sure my people straight. I'ma be a hero, not one of them buff niggas wearing capes. All this money in my pocket